Imagine your child graduates from high school and then finds out their diploma wasn't worth the paper it was printed on.
And more than a half dozen local families say it happened to them at a Christian academy. Now they want to know why the administrator hasn't been criminally charged yet. Behind this blacked out storefront in downtown Picayune, Mississippi, sits the House of Refuge Church, which in 2015 advertised on its Facebook page, "If you're looking for a good Christian school, we will have one at the church." The Christian Academy of Picayune was billed as accredited homeschooling, all grades and programs, run by this woman, Candace Downey, who impressed parents, calling herself an educator and counselor with a PhD in behavioral psychology.
She promised to, help them with, ACTs, the college placements, everything. And, she had a PhD. If the kids ever had any type of, problem that they needed to talk about.
Susan Daigle registered her son Braden as a senior last August when he moved home from Texas. Pam Quinlan also enrolled her daughter Shay, who she thought could work at her own pace.
One of my best friends, her granddaughter, was attending the school, and she had indicated to me that it was a school by a lady who had a PhD.
It didn't take long for them to realize the school wasn't what they thought.
A month went by and we were sitting there watching movies, and her 16-year-old sister was teaching us.
The students started recording their own Snapchat videos in class. One's titled, "This is School." Another, "We do nothing but watch movies in class." Renee Seal had 3 sons there.
Everything was great. The kids never complained. They never really said anything,
You felt like they were learning?
Yes, I did.
Quinlan says she wasn't so sure and popped into the church for a visit.
I did a pop-in, and when I did the pop-in, she was sleeping across the front chairs. I immediately tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Come on, let's go."
Then she started digging, and what she found raised serious questions. Christian Academy of Picayune is not accredited by the Mississippi Department of Education, which private schools aren't required to do under state law but can do voluntarily. And according to a search of the Mississippi Association of Independent Schools website, it's not accredited through that agency either.
She stood in the house of God, the house of refuge, and told me she had a PhD, and the school was accredited, definitely. And she lied to me.
Susan Daigle immediately pulled her son out of Christian Academy.
And instead of, getting prepared to go to college, my son is doing construction work right now. Not what I wanted for him to do.
And he would have graduated in May.
He would have graduated, in May.
But what about the kids who had already graduated?
I was able to get a hold of a diploma. And once I got a hold of the diploma, just to confirm my suspicions.
Even though the school wasn't accredited, the high school diplomas from 2016 were printed with a Mississippi state seal and appeared to be signed by Alan Lumpkin, the superintendent of the Pearl River County Public School District.
We had 2 parents that brought those in to us, and we were able to see that my name was forged on those signatures, that it was not it was my name, but it was not my signature.
Lumpkin met with Downey and decided to let her inform parents about the fake diplomas. He told parents it was up to them to file criminal charges.
The true victims of this situation are the students of the school who were under the presumption, especially the graduating seniors from last year, who were under the impression that they had received a valid diploma.
In February, Candace Downey sent parents this letter admitting the diplomas aren't valid and that she forged Lumpkin's signature. She asked for forgiveness and assured them it won't happen again. But parents of graduates are outraged amid uncertainty about their kids' future.
The diplomas they were issued weren't worth the paper they were written on. Everything's in limbo.
Renee Seal's oldest son, Andy, hit a roadblock when he tried to join the National Guard.
He had got one of those fake diplomas. A week before boot camp, he was trying to get his papers from her from the state. and she couldn't come up with them. They will not accept him because he has no high school diploma. He has no diploma whatsoever.
Hello? We tried to track down the House of Refuge pastor, Brad Hefner, and his wife, Stacy, but were told they would only release a statement. It says the school was a separate entity from the church and that Downey just subleased the space. It goes on to say what was done was wrong and they truly feel bad for the children involved.
Something's not right with the whole situation. And they're hiding behind that, they're hiding behind God. I mean, they're hiding behind that church.
From what we've seen so far, she wasn't fit to be a teacher.
Candace Downey also declined our request for an interview, but told me by phone she has closed Christian Academy of Picayune and is only homeschooling some younger children until the end of the school year. When I asked her if she lied to parents and gave out fake diplomas, she said no comment. Asked if she's being falsely accused, again, no comment. When I asked if she has her PhD, she also replied, no comment. Were you embarrassed that this happened? That you ended up at this school that was basically a sham?
Yeah, I was. But I think she should be more embarrassed than I am.
Parents did bring their complaints to the Picayune Police Department, which began its investigation in February. But further frustrating parents, so far, no charges have been filed.
Why are they just letting us go? You know, she's stolen, my kid's education, my money, my child's, future is in jeopardy.
Chief Brian Dawsey would not talk on camera, but he says he turned the findings over to District Attorney Hal Cottrell. Potential charges could involve forgery and false pretense. And Cottrell tells Fox 8 the case could be presented to a grand jury in early June.
I think that it is important that our judicial system hold her accountable, because if not, what does that say to our children and to society? That it's okay?
Pam Quinlan did receive a refund for her 2 months' worth of tuition, and even though Candace Downey tells Fox 8 she'll work on giving refunds to other parents, they say their quest for justice is about much more than money.
And honestly, with this many people involved, the chances of anybody getting the money is slim. It's the fact that this doesn't happen to another group of people.
She told me she could, do certain things for my son, and it was just a lie.
You feel betrayed?
Absolutely. And I don't want this to happen to another child.
Candace Downey has been arrested before. In 2005, court records show she was arrested in St. Tammany Parish on a charge of issuing a worthless check. That case was dismissed. In 2010, the records show she pled guilty to a charge of failure to return leased movables, and for that she was put on probation.
What's tuition at the school? What was it?
It's interesting. The parents all seem to have paid different amounts. Some paid $150 a month, some paid $200 a month. If you had more than one child there, you got a discount. Some paid cash, some paid checks, some paid through PayPal, apparently. Yeah, so.
Interesting.
Different stories from all the different parents, but the same result.
Yes, sad story.